Previously on Beanie Buddies.
Collecting Blu-rays.
This is Sparta!
I don't want to call her Lana, but Edwards would be sick.
Beautiful. Look at you. Oh, Garfield just pooped on me. I feel like they just pooped on us simultaneously.
Nap time. Alright, y'all.
Back to the Blu-rays. You know, it doesn't look like a lot stacked next to each other, but then we start grabbing them. Banger. Stay. Banger. I think we reached the peak of this pile. No, we didn't. I'm gonna keep going till that pile falls. Uh-oh. We'll just split the pile. Alright. Yes. My Blu-ray collection. Something that was started merely a month and a half ago. How inspirational. Sponsored by Amoeba Music. While this addiction of mine is getting way too out of hand, I wanted to review the ones that I have now, currently. This will be the 2021 review. Started collecting these around mid-April. I'm not kidding, there was no Blu-rays whatsoever in the, well, no, that's a lie. There was 2 Blu-rays in this house, and I'll explain which ones they are when we get to them. And we'll go in alphabetical order. Name the movie. I'll say a quick meme or a quick review about it, less than 60 seconds, and then maybe even quote a scene from it, and we'll move on really quickly. And another thing, I see that people in their collection, their movie collections, put the word "the" not in the T section, but the word after it. They'll alphabetize it in that order. So, for example, The Cat Returns starts with a T because of the, but they'll put it in the C because the next word is cat, and cat starts with a C, so you put it with the other C's, and then you put the T, and then you forget the T. But anyways, I organize mine a little differently. All the movies that start with the are all on T. I shit you not, it's weird, and I'm probably the only one that does this, but The Boondock Saints and The Big Lebowski could come right before The Cat Returns in my library. You'll see what I'm talking about when we get there. I wanted to stack all of these, but stacking them made me realize that, oh, there goes the whole tower. You know, I didn't realize how many of these there were until you stacked them all vertically. I'm gonna go with vertically.
Let's go!
A. Ooh, what a good one. I have the Alien Anthology. Got this on Blu-ray for, I kid you not, like $18. Really dope series. I've never seen any of the Alien films, so I took quarantine as the excuse to catch up on my classics, and boy, do I not regret anything about that. It has all the Alien movies. I'm not gonna lie to you, I haven't seen the 4th one, but I don't think I have to watch the 4th one. It comes in this cool little booklet after you take off the sleeve, and it has all of these artworks and little cool quotes on what the movie's about, and it has one for each movie, so 1 through 4, and they all have this cool little sleeve book style. Not only does it come with the 4 movies, but you also get 2 special feature discs. I'm a very big VFX fan. Not even just VFX, I'm also a fan of practical effects. This is the mama of practical effects right here, man. The puppetry and the gore and all the nasty stuff looks genuinely nasty in this movie. Crazy how a movie from the 70s can scare you more than a movie from 2021. And so, Alien Anthology. Can we get a quick verdict from the chickens out there in the living room? Next up, you guessed it, Alien Covenant. How can I have all the Alien movies without Alien Covenant? And I know what you're asking yourself, what about Prometheus? We'll get to P. We'll get to Prometheus. I'm gonna put the most memorable scene in the movie. Ooh, look at this one. This is basically like the Hunger Games if the Hunger Games had a big old set of balls on them. Shit. 10 out of 10. Big Trouble in Little China. A John Carpenter film. You will soon find out why John Carpenter is my favorite director as of right now. Although that being said, I won't lie to you, I have not seen this one. I tend to watch these with Tina, like I said before, and so we both have to mutually agree on what movie is next. This one always gets pushed aside, but it's not through my vote. I promise I want to watch this, and I will. Braveheart. Do I need to say anything? Fucking 10 out of 10. Mel Gibson. Banger. I had to get Braveheart. Let me show that steelbook again. Look at this steelbook. This shit was $7 at Amoeba. Blu-ray and DVD. Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson, where you at, Mel Gibson? Oh, now we got Scorsese. Casino, Robert De Niro, and Joe Pesci. You know people are gonna get finessed and get called rat motherfuckers when Robert De Niro and Joe Pesci are in a movie together.
Fucking rat anyways. Whole family's all rats. You would have grew up to be a rat.
Stupid bastard. I can't fucking believe you.
7 out of 10. Cowboy Bebop, the complete series. Dude, are you kidding me? This had to be a cop. I recall this playing on Toonami when I was 8, and I never clicked on it. Here we are in my early 20s, and I finally gave it a shot, and I don't regret it. Very cool anime. You can see where the inspiration from other animes come from when it comes to this. I can't have the entire anime without having the movie for it. Cowboy Bebop, the movie. The movie was okay. It's pretty long. Takes place during the series, although I would have loved to have a movie that explains what happens in the aftermath of Cowboy Bebop. But overall, pretty good side story. I think it does take place towards the end of the series anyway, so gonna give it a 10 out of 10. And I think it deserves that. Cowboy Bebop. Can we get a verdict from the chickies on that? Chronicle. Who saw Chronicle and didn't want to be the... Okay, as I was saying. Did anybody watch this movie and not want to have superpowers after that? Ugh. I'm a big fan of DC. Deathstroke Knights and Dragons. I think I got this for like $5. Really good. Artwork for it's really dope. But when you watch the trailer for these, the new animated movies, it lacks that oomph that the old ones had. These are pretty dope. Don't sleep on these. Can we get an opinion on the Deathstroke movie? We can move on over to G. And what a G to start with. Ghost in a Shell. No, this isn't the series. This is just the movie. And what a movie. I did not think I would love naked women fighting in cybernetic dystopias, but hey, we'll get there. Not a lot of G's. Not a lot of G movies. Next one up, Grand Budapest Hotel. Wes Anderson has very interesting movies, and I've seen, I think, all of his work, and I gotta say, this one is my top favorite, which is hence me owning it. Chickies, what you think of the movie? I kid you not, I just watched this one. Heat, Robert De Niro, Al Pacino, Van Kilmer. When you first see this, you see Al Pacino and you're like, what bank is Al Pacino robbing? Wrong. In this movie, he's actually stopping the bank robbers. What? A movie with Al Pacino where he doesn't rob a bank, but there's a bank robbery taking place? It was pretty cool. Really dope. I'd recommend it. Hostel Part 1 and Part 2. I just finished watching this one too. I've never seen these before. It gave me Saw vibes, but in a much more scarier scenario. A much more realistic scenario, I might add. I was already afraid of planes, but now I'm never going to fly to Europe at all. My favorite scene in this movie is actually the scene where he's getting revenge on the girl. And he runs over the girl that took him to the factory where they torture all these people. And then they run over the girl again, but the second time they run over, holy shit, is it overkill. And chickies, what's the Hostel review? It Debatably the better one. I do like Stephen King's It. Well, they're both Stephen King's It, but this one's the original one, and my god, is this one a lot more terrifying. For me, it's the costume. It's more unsettling. Also, there's probably childhood trauma tied into it, but yeah, very good. Chickies, what do we think about It? If you think the It movie is a long, really complicated movie, boy, you don't even know about Interstellar. But the way this movie describes time and space and how dimensions work, I totally think is on par with how it really is. Now, I'm not a NASA astronaut, nor am I a scientist. I'm merely an AMC ape, but I do see all of this making sense in this film. Christopher Nolan is from the future. Changed my mind. Interstellar verdict, chickies? Another personal favorite, Invasion of the Body Snatchers. A little biased opinion, but this is a very good film. It explains why all the people in this city are kind of weird now and why nobody minds their business. And every day people in this city just get a little weirder. This movie gives a plausible theory on why that's happening. And it takes place in San Francisco. Chickies, what's the verdict? Another DC film, Justice League, Apocalypse War. Very, very dope. This was kind of the end war of it all. If you've ever wanted to see an evil Batman completely take a dump on the Justice League, watch this. What's the word on Justice League, chickies? Another Justice League film, Psych. Justice Society, and it takes place in World War II. I guess they're redoing the Flashpoint paradox in a different way, which if that's what they're going for, totally fine by me. I'm completely okay with a redo button, especially with the way the last set of movies were handled. What's the verdict on this one, chickies? Kingsman 1 and 2, a very fine set of movies here. If you think the James Bond series is a little too serious for you, or you're not a fan of the Jason Bourne series because again, they're a little too serious for you, this probably has the lulls and the humor that you're looking for in action movies. How do you feel about Kingsman, chickies? Land of the Dead, George A. Romero, a very fine favorite of mine. If you know the Of the Dead series, you know what the fuck's going on here, man. I don't have to say anything. I'm gonna just play the clip we're all thinking of here. What in darnation? The zombies are getting smarter. They have a zombie leader in this film. Oh, camera died. This one's alright. They did a lot of CGI gore, which isn't always bad, but in the case of this film, it's pretty bad. Can we get a verdict for Land of the Dead? Logan, in a very, very special edition of Logan. Not really, but when I bought this one, it came with a black and white version of the film, which I did not know it was going to. It came with two versions of the Blu-ray, the regular one, the black and white one, a DVD, and a digital version of the film. Wow. How many times can you give me a film? I know this is a given, but this is probably the best Wolverine movie I've seen, and probably the best one out there. Some good old Nicolas Cage, Lord of War. This even has Jared Leto in it, and Ethan Hawke. Wow. If you want to see a older version of the movie War Dogs, Lord of the War is the way to go. How do you like Nicolas Cage? Oh, the next one is a spicy meatball. The only O film I have. Old Boy. And not the stinky caca poo poo American one. I'm talking the spicy South Korean one, dude. This is no joke. The taboo that goes on in this film is disgusting, but you definitely need to watch it for the plot twist at the end. A lot of the times when I watch this, I think of The Raid when it comes to the fight scenes in it, because they're very well choreographed. You watch the South Korean one and you're like, ooh, eef, ooh, that looks like it hurts. You look at the American one and you're like, nah, I'm just not buying it. Old Boy. Recommend. That one was hard to find. A lot of these you could get them on Amazon, but finding them in store is very challenging. I think this is my only film with an M in the title, My Neighbor Totoro. I saw this thinking it was going to be a really dark anime film, or like a plot twist at the end of it. It's actually very wholesome and made my heart quiver like the Grinch's did and grow 3 times in size. Not my cup of tea, but beautiful. I'll say that. Now we're getting a Satoshi Kon, Paprika. Yeah. If you like Inception, check out Paprika. They both have the same concept of going into dreams within dreams, and the beginning is kind of the same too, when they're in a dream doing a sort of stealth operation. You definitely have to watch it a couple times. It's a bit of a mind bend during the first couple minutes of it, but towards the end you sort of pick up what's going on. Oh, another one, Paranoia Agent. Same man that made Paprika, but this time it's a series. And it's about a person who's running around town, smacking people, or should I say rolling around town, smacking people with a golden baseball bat. And each person he smacks ends up benefiting from that smack in some sort of way. A very cool crime mystery drama. And it's super interesting because it's an anime. It's not a live action crime drama. So you get a little spin on a classic tale. Ooh, this one's cool. Predator. 4-film collection. So I just go into each film. First one, we got Predator. Some good old Arnold cheese. I won't even dare say that last name because I'm traumatized from saying it wrong in elementary school, and I got scolded for it and almost suspended. So there's that. Predator 2, ooh, that's a good one. The concrete jungle vibes, I love it. What is it, Danny Glover? I think it's Danny Glover. A little cheesy at times. There's a couple scenes that made me laugh, but overall, really cool. The weapons in it look funky as hell. I guess that's what they thought futuristic weapons were going to look like back then. We got Predators with Adrian Brody. I saw what they were going for in that. I liked it. It's kind of like a retelling of Predator, but if they were to do it with today's technology. I guess not today's technology. What was today's technology back then? And then we have The Predator. I saw that one with the intent of not liking it. I'm not kidding. I was just not going to like it. I heard a lot of things about it. Heard it was garbage. But after watching it, it's not as bad as people say it is. It's not a great film, but it's not a terrible film. There was definitely some scenes where I'm like, okay, this is kind of stupid. But overall, not bad. Chickies, what do you think about the Predator series? Oh, there goes the stack. Can I get a oh yeah for Prometheus? Again, Ridley Scott in what could be considered as a setup or a prequel to the Alien series. Now, back when this came out around 2012, I believe, I walked into this movie not knowing that it was going to be a prequel to the Alien series and just thought I was going to watch a random sci-fi film. Boy, did I shit my pants at the end of this film. I didn't see any trailers for it. I didn't see nothing about it. I actually went there to see another movie, but that was sold out, so I switched over to Prometheus, and best choice I ever made. You could say this one got me into the Alien franchise. Oh, chickies. Solid. Ooh. Alfred Hitchcock's Psycho. I feel like if you love cinematography, you kind of just have seen this or own this regardless of what you think about it. I haven't seen it until this year. I actually just saw it like 2 weeks ago, and I was actually impressed. It was a little obvious what was going to happen with the plot twist being like known to everyone and their moms now, but seeing it unfold is pretty cool. If you haven't seen it, classic. It's the only one I'm going to say classic to. Ooh. This is just a guilty pleasure. The new RoboCop they remade. Not the best. Definitely the original is still better. Always is. But it's not terrible. It's not terrible at all. I'll give it a solid 6 because Samuel Jackson is in it. Chickies, what do you think about RoboCop? I found Samurai 7 at Amoeba, the entire series, for about $10. Haven't got into it. I really want to. It looks stupid interesting. Saw films, the entire 8-film collection is in here. I didn't even know there was 8 Saw films. I stopped watching after the second one once they came out in theaters, and by golly, are they gory. It's not super realistically gory, but fuck do they hit me where it hurts. Like there's like scenes where they snip off the Achilles heel or ankle scenes or needles, and people fall into the needles, and it just gets very gross. It makes you think about the human body a lot, and movies that make me think about the human body tend to make me queasy. But the problem with these Blu-ray sets is, oh my gosh, the disc, look at that, the discs just fall out. I can jiggle this for like 2 minutes, and I think there's like 8 discs in here, and they're not all the different movies. 4 discs have the entire Blu-ray set, and then the next set is all DVDs. As if I wanted the entire series in DVDs as well. But there's a ridiculous amount of discs in here. Chickies, what do we think about the Saw series? Another classic zombie movie, Shaun of the Dead. Not officially a part of the Dead series, but George Romero actually commented on this. Said it was an absolute blast. So, I'm gonna say the same thing. Chickies, what do you have to say about Land of the Dead? Or Shaun of the Dead? Now, the only non-Blu-ray disc I own, the Spawn HBO series. Now, I know there's an Amazon Steelbook one, but this one just takes the cake. It's very cool. It has its own artwork for every disc in it. Comes with 3 discs, has all seasons on it. I don't think there's a Blu-ray version of this out there, which is why I have the DVD version of it, but very cool. Okay, earlier when I was talking about how I organize my movies in the aisle, we're going to get into that now. I have all my The movies next to each other. So alphabetized, they'll be in the T. But you'll see what I mean. Next up, we have The Big Lebowski. Another Coen Brothers film. A very interesting story and tale. The amount of references and jokes and memes and quotes from this movie that people don't even know spawned from this movie is insane. Next up, The Boondock Saints. I absolutely love Willem Dafoe, and when I say that this movie is probably Willem Dafoe at his peak performance, I am not kidding when I say that. He seems very scary and creepy in this movie, and if you saw The Lighthouse and you think he's very creepy in The Lighthouse, he is. That's a very good movie too. I own that on PS4, not on Blu-ray. I messed up buying that on PS4, but that's besides the point. He's very creepy and convincing in this movie. Haven't seen the second one. Definitely recommend the first one. 8 out of 10. The Bourne Ultimate Collection. I'm not going to say too much on the series because I haven't seen all of them. I went up to the second one. Both very good movies. The whole espionage, tricking the CIA government's very cool. Fuck the police. The Cat Returns. The sequel to Whispers of the Heart. But not really the sequel, but you know what I mean. One of Tina's films. I actually haven't seen it yet, but we will get to this one just for like the rainy day movies to watch. This is one of them. No Verdict. The Fly, a Jeff Goldblum classic. This movie came out in the 80s and it is the grossest movie I have seen. There's not a lot of movies that make me want to literally throw up, aside from the Saw films, but this movie, the practical effects are just so real looking. I don't know how they do that shit, man. You can't even pull this off now. Besides that, Jeff Goldblum is in peak physical condition. Those backflips he does off the pole in the scene where he's in his laboratory, I don't even know if that's a stunt double. That could be him for all I know. I believe it. He's built like a Greek god in that film. Let's see. What's after F? G. This one's still wrapped up. Haven't seen it. Guilty. The Green Mile. Tom Hanks. You know which movie it is. The Lorax. The second movie that isn't mine on Blu-ray. But I do love this movie. The government trying to sell cans of air. Just give it like 50 years and you'll probably be able to say that that's real. The Raid Collection. Dude, if you love action movies, get the Raid Collection. It comes with Raid 1 and 2, but my god, are these just great films to just watch. Absolutely loaded. It makes me feel like I learned Kung Fu watching these movies. The choreography is that great. Next up, The Revenant. Now, if I'm not mistaken, this is what gave Leonardo DiCaprio that Oscar. So you know it's going to be good. And Tom Hardy? What? Who thought about that? Leonardo DiCaprio plays as a man left for dead by his crew that he's with. And one of the men that he's with kills his... And we're back. I forgot if I finished talking about The Revenant, but I'm going to keep talking about The Revenant. Tom Hardy and Leonardo DiCaprio. Who would have thought that duo would have been what we all wanted? Tom Hardy plays a psychopath very well in this movie. And the guy from Maze Runner's in it. I forgot his name, but he's in this as well, giving a pretty good performance. A solid performance, I might add. There's this scene where Leonardo DiCaprio takes on a bear, and it looks almost real. He sleeps in the horse. All Star Wars style. We have The Witch. This is Robert Eggers' first film, or at least the first film I saw in theatrical release, where it showed me how sound and camera angles can really make all the horror in your movie. The sound in this movie and the just camera angles that they have are menacing, and it makes you want to cover your ears. I have a tiny TV in my room, but it has pretty good speakers, and when we would play it at night, the ominous sounds movie emits is haunting. You almost want to watch it on mute sometimes. I mean this all positively too. I'm not bagging on the film. This is actually all positives in a horror movie. You don't need to show pop-ups or really grotesque things to scare your audience. We're looking at you, Paranormal Activity. In the first 5 minutes of this movie, a baby goes missing. It all starts off with a friendly game of peekaboo, and you think everything's gonna be cute, laughs and giggles, and then all of a sudden the baby's gone and you're panicking and you don't know what's going on. There's a black goat and he's like the devil, and holy smokes, Batman. Definitely watch if you're into Hereditary or Midsummer. I know those are the more popular ones, but The Witch, definitely worth the watch. Next up, if you have Paprika, you probably have Tokyo Godfathers. You can consider this a Christmas movie. It takes place during Christmas, I believe, and it's about 3 homeless people who stumble upon a baby in a pile of trash and want to return it to its family members before Christmas ends. A very heartwarming movie about coincidences and how everything happens for a reason. My current favorite film of all time, John Carpenter's They Live. Now this movie turned me into a paranoid psychopath for about a good 2 weeks, but with good reason, and it gives an explanation as to why you might see weird people out on the street or those suit and ties that you run by. It gets you very paranoid and makes you think about the world and how things truly might be. On the opposite side of that spectrum, we have This Is the End, a very classic Seth Rogen film. I love every Seth Rogen movie, but this is the one I had to buy. If you ever want to see what a plausible apocalyptic scenario looks like with your favorite Hollywood actors in a movie where everybody plays as himself. All your favorite comedians and actors, even Hermione's in the film, and you get to watch them all try to survive a religious apocalyptic scenario. Next up, we have Whisper of the Heart. I have many Studio Ghibli steelbooks. I haven't seen any of them. I would like to collect them all before I dive in so I can watch them all in chronological order. I know they're not connected in any way, but watching them from the years they came out would be cool. And then on to the 2 numbers. We're finally on the last 2 films. These guys are just movies that start with numbers. 13 Sins. This is what I thought it was going to be. I think it's the drummer from Scott Pilgrim who stars in this. He's great in it. I like how he is. But a man must complete 13 tasks to get a fortune. He will get money at the end of each task he's completed, each task getting harder and the money increasing with each task, of course. But then at the end, he doesn't care anymore. He doesn't want to win, and after almost having every challenge completed, he decides to say fuck it and not complete anything anymore. Mid, if you like your little mid flicks, definitely recommend that. However, this is no mid. 30 Days of Night is actually a very interesting film. This one I actually really was terrified by when I was a child. The thought of being trapped with zombie vampire-like creatures for 30 days in a Alaskan no sun situation does not sound ideal for me whatsoever. A very frightening film about a cop who just recently got divorced and his wife is actually on the way out of town when this shit goes down. There's a situation where this town has 30 days of no sunlight, pure darkness and snow and frost, and people gotta stay indoors. And all of a sudden this horde of vampires comes in on this town and just starts wreaking havoc on everybody. Pretty cool. Gets a little weird at times, but overall a fun movie to watch. And yeah, that's it. You know, I didn't think I had a lot, but this recording thing is like over an hour. I didn't want to go too into detail about the movies because some of the series I would like to go in depth into a funny review if I do end up doing that. If not, hey, I'll hit you with one of these every year to see how fat the collection of Blu-ray gets. But thanks for watching. I'll keep you updated on the chickies. I wanted them to be more in the film, but I didn't want to shove bright LED lights in their face. They're newborns, so I just want to keep that red lamp on them. And yeah, I'll see ya. Thanks.